And now I'd like to introduce our speaker for today's Chamber U, Brian Williams, President of 5-Star Economy.
Well, Danica, thank you for having me today. So welcome, Chamber members. I'm a pretty low energy guy. You'll understand that as we go through here, so I hope I don't put anybody to sleep out there. But to get things started, if you're logged in and looking at the slides, I'd love to just you to do a little shout out, maybe put anything you want in the QA, what part of town are you in, if you're in Henderson or Summerlin, just so I can see you out there, and love to just make sure that we have a little bit of engagement here. So if you're out there, go ahead and tell me what part of town you're in. Otherwise, let's get started. So my name is Brian Williams, and my company is 5-Star Economy. Today, I am going to show you how you can use your reputation to grow your business, and it's a really, really easy way to do it. A lot of businesses are really just now starting to understand the power of online reviews and what they can do to generate new clients. I'm going to show you some examples here about how some businesses here locally in Las Vegas are doing just that and doing it to a very, very large extent. And feel free to connect with me afterwards. I put my social media links right up there on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I'm mostly active on Facebook and LinkedIn, and I'm happy to communicate with you afterwards as well. So let's get going. I'm going to try to find the controls here. All right. Let's see. This is just a quick shout out to my team. Nothing I do is possible without them, and so I like showing them off because I have so much respect and love for them, and nothing good happens without a team. And so that's a picture of my team, and I just can't thank them enough for everything they do for me and my company. So here's what we're going to go over today. It's a lot to cover in 20, 25 minutes, but we're going to do our best. So the first thing I want to cover is something that eludes a lot of businesses, which is how to get some visibility on the search engines, without paying for expensive search engine optimization or even without paying for advertising. And I'm going to show you that right away up front because it's a real cool technique and it's something that all of you can do. And then we're going to jump into these other bullets, and I'm not going to go over them all right now. You can read just as well as I can, and for the sake of time, let's get into the content. So just a little bit about me, so you kind of know who you're talking with or who you're listening to. I've been in internet marketing my entire career. That started back in 1994, where I worked for Toyota Corporation, and I literally built Toyota's first website. And I got really excited about that, and that kind of kicked off my career as a digital marketer, they say. And after that, I went and started some e-commerce businesses. Some you may have shopped on, like ubid.com, and sold over $1 billion of clothing and computers and electronics and travel packages online. And that really kind of set the stage for my whole career. In 2009, I moved out here to Las Vegas and started a company called Marketing Solutions, which I renamed 2 years ago to 5-Star Economy. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And today, I really just love helping business owners use innovative digital marketing to grow their businesses, and I also like coaching entrepreneurs. I've been an entrepreneur since '09, and it's a challenging path to take for a career, but it's also a super exciting path to take for a career. So I like coaching other entrepreneurs. These are some family photos. So a picture of my wife on one side. We just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. Yeah, we're high school sweethearts, actually, so we've been together a long time. That's a picture of me as the scoutmaster for my boys' scout troop, which I am still active in. And below is my almost 12-year-old daughter on a camp out we did with our Girl Scout troop. So I love the outdoors, I love my family, and that's why I do what I do. So let's get into some setting of the table, as I like to call it, so we're all on the same page here. Today, online reviews are no longer just limited to affecting things like product sales online or restaurants or hotels or travel, which is kind of where it all kind of began to influence business. It's affecting all types of businesses, ranging from law firms and CPA firms and insurance agencies and HVAC repair companies and authors and speakers and coaches, just kind of every person that's in business, and every type of business is somehow affected by whether they have or don't have online reviews now. We're all conditioned to kind of use online reviews to make a decision as to whether or not we should do business with a company, and it's almost 100%. I mean, these numbers are actually a year outdated, and I will update this slide for the future because these percentages are now 95% of consumers are now reading reviews for local businesses, and more than 90% are trusting reviews as much as a personal recommendation. It's a really big deal. in my 25 years as a marketer, I've never seen something quite as polarizing to change buyer behavior as these 5 stars. And it kind of is silly in a way, but it's very powerful for business if you know what to do with it. I'm hoping that by the time we end our training session today, you'll have a good understanding of how to do that. All right? I always say that, you know, your best source of referrals are people that leave 5-star reviews for your business. And so, you know, if you think about how a business grows, right, through word of mouth and through other means, I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have a list or to be able to reach out to people who think you're the best and who are your raving fans? Well, anyone who goes out and takes the time to leave a 5-star review for your business is your raving fan. And those people will gladly and willingly refer you to other business. And so this is another way you can use reviews as a tool to grow your company. And just, I want you to think about that and understand this kind of paradigm shift that's happened over really the last few years, where it really began to take hold. And if you want someone to kind of, or some, I guess we'll call it someone to blame, right, for all this, it's Amazon. So everybody's familiar with buying products on Amazon. I meet very few people that have never shopped on Amazon or someplace like Amazon online. And 22, 23 years ago, a guy named Scott Lipsky created the review engine that Amazon launched for people reviewing products and, you know, initially books and other things on Amazon. And they've conditioned all of us to make a buying decision on this 5-star scale. And before Amazon, we're familiar with a 5-star reputation, but Amazon really made it popular. They made it common. And so it's easy to understand how it's transcended from there to every business. And this is really kind of the psychological change that has happened. And if you stick through to the end, by the way, of this webinar, I have a super cool gift for you. And it's a gift. It's a gift because it doesn't cost you anything, and you get to keep it. So for those of you that are just joining us, stick through to the end. I got a really, really cool gift for you at the end of this. So stay tuned. All right. So here's some examples of some local businesses that have really taken control of their online reputation. This is a business out in Henderson called EcoTint, and they basically are a window tinting company. Mike is the owner of this business. And when I was first getting involved with helping businesses with their reputation, this particular business stood out to me because if you notice, they have over 340 at this screenshot online reviews that are 5 stars on Yelp, and that's a lot, and that was almost unheard of. Today, it's well over 400. And they literally have a waiting list of people wanting to get their windows tinted, which is pretty much a commodity type service here because of their online reputation. And they have reviews obviously on Yelp, they have them on Facebook and Groupon and Google, and this is really their marketing. And this is a business that understands the power of what other people say about your business online transcends into having literally a waiting list of customers wanting, in this case, a commodity type product. Here's another example. This happens to be a client, All Kinds of Insurance. And this is what it looks like when someone searches for you on a phone, which is most of the way people search these days, right? So we all are familiar with typing in a business name and seeing what comes up on someone's phone. And the first thing that shows up, and this is off of an iPhone screenshot, is their map to their location and also their Yelp reviews. And this is common practice now. So if I were to do the same search on an Android phone, it would show me their Google star rating. And so those are really where you want to be focused on, is how are people interacting or finding your business using their mobile devices, really. And it's all about Yelp reviews and all about Google reviews because it's the first thing that they're going to see about your company. Okay, this slide didn't translate quite well from Keynote to PowerPoint, but I'm going to explain it to you. So this is something I'm going to show you, which is a big shift in how people search online. In the past, we were told you have to have a website, right? And that's where our traffic, if you will, would go when people wanted to find out information about us. Well, today it's shifted, not so much to people looking at your website, but now more than half of people searching for your business or searching for the type of business you have are going directly to the review sites. And I'm going to show you why in just a moment and prove it to you, really. And you can do this search, if you will, on your own later after this webinar. You may not be able to read this screen. I'm going to zoom in on it in just a second. But this is a search for CPA firms Las Vegas on Google, okay? So if someone's looking for a CPA firm, they search for CPA firms Las Vegas. Here's a zoomed in version up towards the top of that search result, and you can see in the red box, the first organic search result is the best CPA firms in Las Vegas on the Yelp site. Most businesses now show up or if you do a search for that, the number 1 or number 2 link on Google is the best of on Yelp. Whether you're a landscaper, whether you're a law firm, whether you're a restaurant, doesn't matter. This is showing up number 1 and sometimes number 1, 2, and 3 on Google search. And so this is where you can get literally free traffic from the top of Google, and the way you get that is by showing up here, which is what people click through to when they go to that best of page on Yelp. And there's our client, Campbell Jones Cohen, in the number 2 position on that search result. They get 4 to 10 inbound calls a day just from being here organically on the top of Yelp. And so this is a way that without doing SEO, without spending any money on advertising, as long as you can get your satisfied clients to leave you good Yelp reviews and do it in a way that I'm going to show you here in just a moment, you can show up on this best of Yelp page and literally get free traffic from the top of Google. And that's the first aha that I wanted to sort of show you, and something that a lot of businesses don't quite understand or are missing out on right now. So if we go back to our agenda, first thing I wanted to show you is how to get first page search engine visibility, and I hope I've done that. So I can't hear you. I'm just going to give myself my own star for that. So let's move on to the next part of the training, which is how to get your satisfied customers to leave you positive online reviews, because that's how you get that traffic in the first place. So let's go to that. So the first thing you want to understand is, and I apologize for some of the text getting cut off on the screen, but basically you want to get all of your clients, all of your customers you want to request to get feedback from them. Now, when I say that, a lot of business owners get a little freaked out because they're like, well, wait a minute. We don't satisfy everybody at a 5-star level. I mean, I don't know any business that doesn't make a mistake, okay? And so they're afraid of asking all their customers because they don't know necessarily if they're all going to say great things about them. So I'm going to show you how you can do it in a safe way so that you can feel confident in asking all your customers to leave you feedback to get the majority of them to leave you online positive reviews. And I'm going to make a point here. One of the problems with online reviews is that it's bent towards the negative. And what I mean by that is that if you go to, let's take the example of you go to a restaurant. If you go to a restaurant and you have a decent meal and a decent service and everything was fine, the price was good and what have you, and you're satisfied, you're not likely to leave a 5-star review for that restaurant because nothing went wrong, it was good. You might go back again, but you're not necessarily motivated to leave a 5-star review. On the other hand, if something goes wrong, if your food is cold or the wait time was too long, or you don't feel like you were treated the best, you are more likely to leave a negative review on Yelp. And so in a lot of ways, the online review system is flawed, and it actually, in many cases, misrepresents the business's true reputation because it kind of motivates the unhappy people to leave reviews. And so we want to take control of this. And this is kind of the message for business owners that I like to get out there, is you want to take control of this so that you're not leaving it up to just the negative side of human nature. You're actually encouraging your satisfied customers to also post online. So here's how we do that. We don't take them directly to an online review site. We build a web page or a website, and you can do this on your own, or we can talk about it offline later. This is how we do this, is we take in the feedback privately first. And so we get to capture the sentiment of the customer for ourselves and for our clients. And depending on what the sentiment is, that will determine the next step. So for example, if someone on our private site leaves a 5-star or a 4-star rating and a nice review, we're then going to invite them to copy that to their favorite online directory, whether it's Yelp, Google, Facebook, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, it doesn't matter. We can send that anywhere we want, but only after we understand that sentiment. And this starts to balance out and kind of make it really more of a fair representation of your actual reputation, because we're not just leaving it to chance or leaving it to the few times that a mistake is made. Now, you may be wondering, well, what if someone leaves something negative on this private page? And that does happen often, right? Like I said, I have yet to meet a business that satisfies everyone at a 5-star level, okay? We all make mistakes. So what we do there is we want to know what happened, right? So we want to be able to solve those problems. And so we take them to a little bit of a survey about what went wrong and who was involved and how can we do better the next time so it won't happen again. And we capture that, and then we can use that information to actually solve problems the right way with the client or with the customer, and even understand things that you may not have understood before in your business about how you can improve, or maybe there's an issue with a member of the team that you didn't know about. And all kinds of really good information comes out of this to help the business understand how to make things better. How are we doing on time? Good? Okay. So this is how we handle it. So we're not trying to ignore the negative. We're actually wanting to deal with the negative, but deal with it in a way that's productive to solve problems and productive to help you as a business owner. And that's how we handle that. So it's definitely not a way to ignore it. In fact, businesses that aren't customer service oriented or customer service friendly shouldn't do this. They should just let things happen by chance, and I hope that's not you. I'm sure it's not. So that's how we're able to ask everybody. And then some other tools that we use is a lot of businesses have people out in the field, right, like a landscaper or a roofing company or a flooring installation company. And in those cases, we equip them with an app basically where they can kind of sign jobs out, and so we can start the feedback request campaign, which I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute here. So here it is. So this is something that you can kind of do. We've built our own process for doing this, but basically it's emails and text messages that go out to your clients to request feedback that sends all that traffic to that private feedback page that I just showed you. So you can use your own email system like Constant Contact as an example, and basically send them to a page that asks for feedback. Now we do a whole lot of other things that are that we've run hundreds of these campaigns, so we've learned a lot about how people tend to behave when we ask for feedback. And one of the things I will tell you is that most of the time people don't respond to the first request. They may have good intention of responding, and we have found that a lot of our clients, a lot of businesses in general, ask people to leave reviews. The people say they're going to leave reviews, and they never do. And we find that a lot with our clients, and we find that a lot with just businesses. And as I was doing my research and building this whole process, that was a common complaint from business owners. And so we remind people, we don't just leave it to a single email or a single text request. We actually monitor what they do, how they behave with those emails. Do they open them? Do they click through the link? Do they not do that? And then based on how people are reacting, if you will, to these requests, we then decide what the next best message to send them is to remind them to leave feedback. And sometimes it takes 3 or 4 reminders to actually get them to follow through and leave the review. And I wouldn't be afraid of doing that. I mean, we're not asking, we're not asking them to take a 15-minute survey. We're asking them to click a few stars and make a comment basically about the business. And we haven't had any backlash on that from all the campaigns that we've run. So I encourage you to do that. So that kind of handles the next star, which is how to get your satisfied customers and feel confident in doing that by asking everybody to leave you reviews. So let's get on to what are some of the most important sites that you should be focused on. And I'm going to show you something that's kind of a ninja trick here. So if you're thinking about leaving, don't leave now, because there's something in here that I see almost no businesses doing. So let's get into that. So before I do, though, I want you to think about like what you can do now to help start making a difference in your online reputation. So just make a list of like 10 clients that you know are really happy with your service, and go out there and ask them to leave you a review. Like, don't wait. I see so many businesses, they go through a training like this and they get these great ideas and then they don't do anything about it. Make it simple. Just make a list of 10 and go ask them to leave you a review on Yelp or Google. And if you really want to get zealous, how about 100? So don't stop at 10. So just do something, and this is something that anybody on this call can do right now. All right, so the big 3 are Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and those are the icons for those 3 directories. And we all have heard of them, we all know about them, and if you're going to focus anywhere on getting reviews, these are the 3, no matter what kind of business you're in, I would recommend. In particular, Google and Yelp. And the reason for that is what I showed you earlier on, which is that's how you show up on the mobile phone. If I'm an Android phone, I'm going to see your Google reputation right away. If I'm on an iPhone, I'm going to see your Yelp reputation right away, because Yelp is integrated with Apple Maps. and that's a big deal for you as a business owner. And I will also mention that when you set yourself up on these services, and some of you may already be set up, make sure that you're verified. So many businesses I see out there, they have a Yelp account or they have a Google listing, but they haven't claimed it, they haven't verified it. And if you need any help with that, feel free to call my office and my team will just walk you through it. We don't charge for that. So just, if you're not verified or if you don't know if you're verified, let us know. We'd love to help you at least get verified on these services. Now here comes the ninja trick I promised you, okay? And it's called Apple Maps Connect. This is something that I don't know of any business that's focused on this. We have yet to bring on a client that has registered themselves on Apple Maps. But it is so important because for all those users of iPhones out there, which is like I think 40% of all phone users, something like that. It's at least 30%, which is a big deal. That's what shows up. So here's a search, again, on an iPhone for a business, and that icon you see next to all kinds of insurance is their Apple Maps Connect icon, and it's attached, as you can see, to their Yelp reviews. You can go to Apple Maps Connect and register your business just like you can on Facebook, just like you can on Google, and when you do that, you're basically giving yourself some free visibility on everybody that has an iPhone. So go ahead and do that as another one of your action items from this training. You heard it here first. All right. So now I've shown you where the most important review sites and directories are, and one really important one that most of your competition, in fact probably all your competition, is missing out on unless they're already a client of mine. All right, let's get on to the fourth topic, which is what you can do to advertise your 5-star reputation. Doesn't cost you anything. I think it's kind of amazing. Let's get into that. And it's about this little site called YouTube. So everybody's heard of YouTube. It's owned by Google, and it's all about videos, right? Well, there's nothing stopping you, or there shouldn't be anything stopping you, from using video to promote your great reputation. And you can literally see, like here's another example of our client Campbell Jones Cohen, where we've made these little 1-minute review videos. And I'm going to show you what one looks like. I'm not going to play it because it doesn't play through this webinar platform, but I'm going to show you a little about how to do it in a sec here. And they show up everywhere. So this is our YouTube search for them. There's a Google search for them next to it, and these videos pop up all over the place. And it's a great way, an easy way to basically promote your 5-star reputation. And you can take your existing 5-star reviews that you probably already have a few of them and get started right away on this. And the videos that we make, it's really kind of a screenshot of the review off of something that looks like an iPad, and then we basically have somebody read the review as a voiceover, and we cut it as a video. And it's not that complicated. You probably have someone that can do this for you. If you don't, call us and we'll help you. But you make these little simple videos using a legitimate review off of the internet, and then you post it on your YouTube channel. And then you can start seeing these reviews showing up in Google search and Yelp search. And it's a really easy way and a free way, not to mention, to get your reputation out there. And YouTube's a big deal. Google owns it. They suck those videos right up into Google search results. And if someone's seeking you out and they type in your business name and you have videos like this on your YouTube channel, there's a good chance they're going to see it. And there's a good chance that you're going to get them to be more engaged with you and more likely to contact you. So that's number 4, how you can advertise your business using your 5-star reputation. So the next bullet is kind of weird looking, right? It says, now let's take this to a whole nother level. Well, for that, we don't have time during this call to do that, so I have a really special gift that I promised you at the beginning of this webinar, and it's a gift because it's free and you get to keep it. And so here's how you do that. Here's part of the gift. I want to give you this sort of blueprint for everything we talked about, so you can have this kind of as a cheat sheet, if you will, for all the steps necessary to use your reputation, get your positive reputation out there. I'm going to show you how you get a copy of this. It doesn't cost anything. And the second thing I want to do is I want to show you how to use what I call the secret formula to really take this all to another level. The secret formula is something that I created a couple of years ago. I've taught workshops on it in person with 12 to 50 business owners in kind of a live setting. I've never taught it online. I've wanted to for a while, so I'm taking this opportunity to teach it to you. It'll be about a 90-minute workshop. There's actually worksheets that you're going to get. It's completely free. I just want you to experience it, and I want your feedback from it. And it's a really, really nifty way to really grow your business in 2018. So the way you get to that training and register for it is to go to that website address, 5stareconomy.com/LVChamber. And it's just for the chamber members that are either watching this or watching the replay of this particular webinar. And it's a really great training, and I get a lot of great feedback from it. And I would love it if you took advantage of this free training. And when you do, I'll also send you a copy of that blueprint I just showed you, so you have something to remember this training from, because it kind of outlines everything we sort of talked about here. So that's my free gift. And with that, I will turn it back over to Danica for any questions that we might have.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brian. And again, if you'd like to ask any questions, they are anonymous, so don't worry, we won't call your name out. You can always press *7 on your phone to unmute your line, or you can go ahead and leave a question in the chat box on the bottom left corner of your screen. So, and if you don't have any questions now, but you think of some a little bit later, Brian's information, his Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, all up on the screen, as well as his phone. That's such an awesome gift to give our chamber members. If someone would take one thing out of today's webinar, what do you think, the biggest takeaway for today is?
I mean, the biggest kind of aha takeaway is just knowing that, I'll give you an example. So the client I showed, Campbell Jones Cohen, last year, they acquired more than 200 new clients just from their Yelp and Google reviews that we helped them create. I mean, that's a big deal. And they actually talk about it, they left a review for me talking about that, so it's public, so I can share that. So the big deal is that's the aha moment. The big deal, the takeaway, make that list of 10 people that you know are great clients and call them up. Just say, look, would you mind taking a minute and leaving me a Yelp review? I mean, that's something everybody on this call can do.
Awesome. Well, I just want to thank you so much again, everyone, for joining us on the call today. Thank you, Brian, 5-Star Economy, for joining us for this session of Chamber U. Again, this will be on our YouTube channel as well as on the members-only portal at lvchamber.com. And I want to remind everyone to join us again next week for another installment of Chamber University, where we're going to talk about ransomware and what to do if your business becomes a victim of ransomware, as well as preventative measures you can take against it. So again, thank you so much, Brian, and I hope everybody has a great week.